Folks, when you're stuck inside on quarantine for a long time with the rest of the world, but you need to have some fun, what you do is you join the Air Discord server, get your Frenemy, yes, Frenemy, because this is going to be a Frenemies brawl, and you come play a 4v4 battle in Total War Warhammer 2 and have a good time, and that's exactly what we have for you here. I call it Frenemies. I don't really know that that's what the players called it, but that's kind of what it turned out to be, right? It's like that each side picked some of their their worst enemies and then just decided to start fighting. But except this time as friends, so ergo Frenemies battle. In fact, on the one side here we have a Glady, and this Glady on her Forest Dragon has brought a huge legion of Glade Guard troops, as well as some Wild Riders over here. You can even see the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, and the Glady is teamed up with Skarsnik? What? This goes against everything that we know about how a Total War Warhammer campaign works, right? These two are always at odds. Very early. Anyway, Skarsnik has brought himself an Arachnarok Queen, an Arachnarok Spider, and then some Gobos of 8 peaks, including some Goblin Rock Lobbers back here in the back, and some Skulkers, and one non-Goblin. I guess he was feeling diverse today and decided to bring an Orc Shaman as well. And then, as if all of these factions don't hate each other enough, you throw the Dwarves into it, who have a grudge against both the Knife Ears and the Gobos, the Groby Scum, and Grombrindle has come back, and he is fighting alongside a Runesmith and Felix, and that's got to be another grudge for Grombrindle to fight alongside this human. Not to mention the Branch Wraith in there. So Grombrindle has brought a front line of Iron Breakers. You can see 3 of them right up front there, and then there's some more Miners with blasting charges right behind them. So it's going to be a very expensive elite core for Grombrindle, and then there's the Skyhammer and a Gyro Bomber. It's so weird seeing a Gyro Bomber in here. They're not great units, but I guess who knows, maybe they lead to some hilarity. And then to really top off the Frenemies list, here comes Vlad von Karstein, who I'm sure gets along real well with all these other allies that he's come, and he's brought himself a White King and some heavy Graveguard infantry mixed in with some zombies and some Black Knight cavalry, with some Cairn Wraiths in the back for some late support. So interesting mix-up of armies here on this side. Definitely Frenemies all around. There are 2 factions on this other side that I guess could probably get along, maybe, but I don't really know the lore relations between the Empire and High Elves, so even that's hard to say. Speaking of High Elves, the High Elf Prince himself, Tyrion, is leading the Lothern faction here, and along with him he's got a Shadow Mage and some Sisters of Avalorn Spearmen, and then there are some Shadow Warriors out here on the flank. Back behind him, he's got several units of Silver Helms for support, a Moon Dragon up in the air, and he is teamed up with Karl Franz, which, like I said, I don't know if these two are really frenemies or not, but as we get to the next 2 factions on their team, the frenemy part will definitely start to scream. And Karl Franz is going to be supported by a Bright Wizard and a couple of, or I say a couple, I think it's 4 Hellstorm rocket batteries, which honestly, in these 4v4s, Hellstorm rocket batteries can pay off pretty quick in most engagements, one of which is the Sunmaker, by the way. And then, in order to make up for some of the cost, Karl's just brought some cheaper infantry, like some Halberds, in order to support the back lines of this engagement. A lot of damage potential here between the Bright Wizard and the 4 rocket batteries. There are some Huntsmen hidden very nicely here in the woods, along with the next list of frenemies here, which is actually going to be Clan Eshin, who I know that the Empire and the High Elves would loathe to fight alongside. And Clan Eshin has provided the basically the chaff up front here, the meat shields, if you will. So there's a whole bunch of Skaven Slave Spears, Skaven Slaves. Over here we do have one solid unit in the Council Guard Storm Vermin. There is a Hell Pit Abomination and some Rat Ogres, as well as the Dwarf Thing Menace, which will be menacing some Dwarf Things, no doubt, as the fight carries on. But I love the Skaven having all the chaff here, and as far as where the rest of Clan Eshin is at, well, as you might guess, they are ninjaing off in the corners of the map. There's some Death Runners on this side, and then if we swing over to the other side of the map, there indeed is a couple of Assassins and Deathmaster Snitch. He's hiding right where we would expect him, so that was frenemy number 1, and the enemy of all people of the Warhammer world, Archaon the Everchosen, and he is supported by his exalted hero, and he has brought a pretty heavy contingent of Chaos Warriors with him. Up front, he's got some Warriors with Halberds, 4 units of them. They're supported by a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, and then there are a couple of units of Chosen in the back, as well as some Empire Outriders that I failed to call out earlier. So The Frenemy battle is all set up, folks. And the way we're going to cover this, because it is going to be a lot of action all over the place, fast and furious. So I'm going to kind of take a look at the left-hand side of the battle to start with until we get partway through. And then I will cut it back to the beginning. We'll see what happens on the right-hand side of the battle. And we'll kind of combine back into the end. And I will try and catch you as much action as we can. So kind of focusing off on the left flank here, there's a very early engagement between the Silver Helms, the Shadow Warriors, and some Black Knight Cavalry and the Hunters of Kurnos, the Ragnarok Queens. They're all swinging in here. The Silver Helms have to kind of stem this tide, and they do a very nice job with a quick surround here and get some extremely good damage done early on here on these Black Knights. So that was quite a play to start this flank off, though. There is some very superior support here. The Storm Vermin are moving in, as well they should, because things are about to get dangerous. So the left flank is going to heat up quick. You can see the archers peeling away, and then look here, a Penumbral Pendulum already coming in. But everything kind of expertly moved out of the way just in time, and the Council Guard are going to be able to support against the Spiders. So as the opening engagement on the left gets started, these Wild Riders are looking for their ticket in, and they've found it. They're going to come crashing into these Shadow Warriors, and then look at this. In the middle, all the Starfire Shafts and Hagbane Tip Archers have gotten in range of the Sunmaker and shut it down quite early. You can see some Chaos Warriors and Halberds moving to this flank to try and stem the tide of the massive attack that's happening on the left. And you've even got the Gyro Bombers coming in, trying to bomb some targets of opportunity. They're really kind of hard to control, and the Moon Dragons in there as well. See, kind of on the left middle here, the Dwarf line coming in and attacking. Very interesting to see the Iron Breakers charging all the way in rather than using all of their satchel charges, so I didn't quite expect that. Got the Moon Dragon attacking, and the rockets are continuing to fire as well. Just a huge fight out here on the left at the moment. Silver Helms up against Wild Riders and a Branch Wraith, Black Knights, a Hell Pit Abomination, a Forest Dragon, 2 Ragnarok Spiders. I mean, it is just an absolute madhouse. You can see the Orc Shaman was dropping an Edbutt in there, which can be pretty effective in the right situations. There's Halberds now coming into support. Just an absolutely brutal fight across the left here. See back here, Karl Franz defending his Outriders from some Spider Hatchlings, but here comes the big ladies, the Ragnarok Spiders. There are finally some Chaos Warriors with Halberds here. They're going to be getting in the way of Skarsnik. The Council Guard has found itself in a very nice engagement. Very good place to support, but it is a fight that is far from over, and you can see the archers back here, although taking some severe damage from rocket batteries and the Bright Wizard. The Elven archers are firing away at the High Elf archers and causing some damage. The Sisters of Avalorn very much alive and hurting the Gyro Bombers quite significantly. You see these Wild Riders just relentlessly looking for targets of opportunity, and they found it here with Cairn Wraiths in the front. And now a rear charge. These Elf Spearmen could potentially terror out. Oof, they just barely managed to hold on. You can see that this fight over here has been quite Pyrrhic for both sides. They've taken terrible damage. But at this point, with Karl over here chasing these Gyro Bombers and these Chaos Warriors with Halberds slightly out of position, this fight is now going to start swinging in favor of the Wood Elves and the Goblins here. Just a real mess of an engagement. The kind of engagement that we really like, to be honest. See Karl deciding where he's going to come in and dive bomb. He's got to pick a target. So as far as the left-hand side goes so far, I would say that it's kind of starting to wrap for the team that started up here, that the Wood Elf Frenemy team, Wood Elves, Goblins, and others that were fighting here. The Dwarves right here in the middle. You can see Grombrindle fighting in the middle against the Deathmaster and his assassins. There's now Iron Breakers unleashing their satchel charges. So that's kind of how things got started on the left. Let's go take a look at the right-hand side of the battle, and we will come back around 4:30 and get the combined view after that. And when I said the right-hand view, I guess that right-hand view is going to be from the perspective of the red team here. We'll call it the red team and the blue team, even though I know some of the ones are green for the actual player who submitted there from the Wood Elf side. But as things get started on this side of the battle, obviously there's going to be a ton of rocket fire, and you're going to see the Skaven Chaff start to move up along with the Warriors of Chaos, who will be looking to be led by the Exalted Hero and Archaon. He has a little bit of support from Outriders, and like I said, he's got the big Dragon Ogre back here. And then as we move on further towards the center, this is the fight we were watching last time. And here in the center, we've got the Sunmaker. You can see the Moon Dragon moving towards the flank where we saw it previously. And some of the key units here, there's Warplock Jezzails, the Rockets, and we also have the Bright Wizard who can provide support. Now, very early on, Tyrion is going to just roll out here and challenge the Vampires pretty much all by himself. Now, he is a tanky unit. Always some risk in this, though. You can see the Glade Guard closing the distance, and they will certainly be looking to open up on the rocket batteries, and that they are doing. Here's the Chaos Warriors with halberds that are transferring towards the other flank, while the Chosen and Archaon and a couple of the warriors push forward. Now look at this. A burning head gets started down one side of the Elven Archers, and then a second burning head from Archaon gets started down the other side. Look at this, crisscrossing burning heads, both of which were extremely well placed. This one's even going to finish off through a Cairn Wraith. Very nice dodge by the Vampire player there to avoid some critical damage, but the Wood Elf Archers get absolutely roasted in a dual burning head that was absolutely beautiful. Now back towards the center, that's where we've got the Runesmith and Grombrindle engaging some High Elf Spearmen, and then the Iron Breakers coming through as well. But more here on the right-hand side, the Chaos Warriors have joined the fight, and there's honestly not a lot of infantry here for the blue team. The Vampires are here, but they're going to get crunched if they don't get some support quickly, and that's where the Goblins are coming in to help support the Vampires. There are Cairn Wraiths here. That will help steady the lines for a while, but this Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is going to be a big problem on this flank for the blue team because they don't have a great answer to it. And speaking of kind of a fun fight back in the back here, Clan Eshin came in and took out the Goblin Artillery with their assassins, so very sneaky indeed for Clan Eshin. A Flame Storm comes in. Not a big hit, though, like the initial ones were from very nice Penumbral Pendulum there across the Iron Breakers. That's a fantastic target. I'm going to look over here and see a Piercing Bolt of Burning coming down in the Cairn Wraiths. That is a great play by the Chaos player on a key unit there. That's going to do some tremendous damage. The Wa was popped for all of the blue team here off the Goblin player, but some of the Goblins didn't get engaged during the Wa, so that's a big problem. It's a big problem indeed. Now these Chosen, they're going to be very well positioned over here. There are not many units over here to challenge the Chosen, especially since the Wood Elf Archer line on this flank took a pretty savage beating. However, look at this, right here in the middle, more towards the middle on this right-hand side, you can see a breakthrough by the blue team. They have units popping through, and over here there's a surround on, I don't know how these Skaven Slave Spears haven't routed. In fact, that's amazing looking at their leadership right there. I've never seen anything like that. What is going on over here? Some interesting magic. Vlad is actually getting thrashed in this fight. Holy mackerel. He got absolutely crushed by Archaon and his Exalted Hero. That's not entirely surprising. Archaon gets incredibly powerful if he's using the Slayer of Kings. Look at that. The Iron Breakers getting some solid hits on the halberds. And as far as the right-hand side of this fight goes, the red team is holding their own quite nicely, to be honest. There's some really nice support here by the Dragon Ogre. He is really helping to mop up enemy infantry. They just don't have a good answer because the archers haven't been able to focus fire them. And that's really about the only answer you could have. The Dwarf Thing Menace is over here for the red team too. It's actually menacing Goblin things here, and it's already racked up 113, 115 kills. So it is getting some work done. Meanwhile, Archaon is doing some real work here, 115 kills. And then his Exalted Hero support there ended up being very timely. See some Black Knights and the Glade Dragon over here trying to support this fight, because clearly the red team is doing pretty well on this flank. And look at that. The Gyro Bombers come in and bust up a huge bunch of Chaos Infantry and a very timely bombing there. Kind of surprised to see that. A big Edbutt right in the middle of the Chosen. I think Edbutt does better versus low armor. It did a little bit of damage, but it wasn't anything too grotesque there. Look at this Iron Breaker volley onto Archaon. That volley may have been better spent over here on these Chosen. Oh, my Gyro Bomber. You don't often see this, but the Gyro Bombers are actually cleaning up some really important targets here. This is a very clutch play for the blue team because this was a lot of very powerful Chaos Infantry. Anyway, I've gone past the 430 mark. We've kind of gotten to see what's happening here. We saw what happened on the other flank, so I'm going to pull up and kind of show you this was the result of that other flank we saw. I know I'm about a minute past there, but I told you it was being wrapped up, and indeed it was wrapped up. And so now really the main fight is back here more on the right-hand side of the battle as seen by the red team. This Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, though, is still going strong, and despite the epic gyro bombing, Archaon is still alive. He killed Vlad, but there are some big units here. These Iron Breakers running around are going to be hard to tear down for the red team. There's just not a lot left for them, and even though the Wood Elf Archers got decimated early, they've got a few units left, and they're going to be able to cause damage. These gyro bombers can spend all of their ammunition and do some decent damage, and Deathmaster Snitch was rolling strong, but now he's just going to be absolutely caught, and not much he can do in this fight. He got hit by the Helm of Discord. Here comes the gyro bombers into melee as well. You know you want to see some helicopters coming down and chopping through things at will. Got the Arachnarok spiders moving in, a big burning head. Which was a cool play here, but there's really not a great place. I mean, the burning head did get some damage done. It wasn't a huge blob, but did get a little bit of work done. So yes, Deathmaster Snitch is indeed the Deathmaster. I mean, meaning he is the master of getting killed right now. He is getting absolutely waylaid in a bruiser of a fight that he just does not belong in. The High Elves over here are getting surrounded. Check this out, though. Going to get a Sunfang hit from Tyrion, I believe. Yeah, a lot of armor there, though, and the dwarves are innately resistant to certain magic anyway, and so won't cause a ton of damage to those Iron Breakers. The Moondragon gets pushed out, and Tyrion is finding himself losing support. Meanwhile, Archaon and his Shaggoth do manage to clean up everything over here. He is a beast. 176 kills, 193 kills on the Dragon Ogre. I mean, they are just owning over here. Absolutely owning. Look at this Wild Riders, 184 kills. Chaos Warriors trying to head in. It's just that at this point, too much damage has been done to the red team. Carl's over here unsupported, and he gets caught out by the Glade Lord. Not in a good position here either, and there are some archers around even if needed. The Council Guard fights the last, and that was their last. Another Wah is popped by the Goblin team. Things are not looking good at this point for the red Frenemies. So it looks like the blue team Frenemies may be taking this one home. What an epic brawl, though. I mean, just look at the body count on the ground here. This battle has been absolute carnage. Just look at the battlefield there. That is absurd. I mean, I'm sitting here at 25 frames on a $3,000 computer, running some top-of-the-line equipment, just to give you guys an idea of how many corpses are on the ground right now. And CA, please keep working on that as you go through iterations of new Total War games. We want the corpses on the ground, but we also want to salvage some frame rate. It'd be amazing to play Total War at 60 frames and 4K one of these days, so there's really no good way to do that at the moment. The Ragnarok spiders and the dragon, everything just combining here to brutally punch Tyrion and his mage in the face. Really nothing that Tyrion can do about this, tanky unit or not. He is completely and utterly hopelessly outmatched. But look at Archaon not giving up. Calls in a piercing bolts of burning right on top of a huge pile here and just causes some tremendous damage. It's too little too late, of course, but hey, if you're the Everchosen and you're going to go out with a searing bang, then that's how you do it. Look at that, 222 kills on the Dragon Ogre, 233 on Archaon, and they are going to go down like they are meant to, and at least will be worthy of some chaos songs amongst the warriors of the North and their epic standing in this giant 4v4 frenemy battle. Look at this, dueling it out. I love it. Here's your epic final showdown here. Yep, what a battle. This was a fun one. Appreciate Falcon sending this one in. It was kind of him. He actually sent in the Lotus Moon replay a while back, as well as several 4v4s, and this one was a really fun one to watch. There was no real theme to it. I kind of made up the Frenemy theme here because that was really the most theme I could find to it. It was just people having fun on the Discord. Like I said at the beginning, you should join the Discord. We're over 4,000 of us there, but I promise you, it feels like a small and fun community. You can come in, you can chat. I mean, in an era of social distancing, it's a good way to get some social and play a fun game with your friends. And it's not just Warhammer. You can go in there, too, and meet people that play all kinds of games. Like, we got people getting together playing different games and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily all Total War focused. We got great moderators there. would definitely love to see you there. We got awesome players like Falcon and all these others here. Trixos, Lol, Bazooka Bob, Gendrick, Red Legion, McNugs, Elatio. Some of these folks you've seen in battles before, and it's because they're there being active and creating an awesome community that you should come be a part of. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the kills here. The dwarves, I mean, this Ironbreaker line was clearly all alive at the end of the battle. Grombrindle got KO'd. I did miss that, but I mean, there was a lot going on here. I actually ate my words here. I was saying Gyro Bomber's not a great unit. In this battle, dude, they blasted some expensive Chaos Infantry that would have created a more difficult late game. I think that they still would have lost, but those Gyro Bombers kind of came and put the nail in the coffin of the Warriors of Chaos there, and so that was an excellent play with units that are probably less than stellar as a general rule. And that may just be more of a 1v1 rule, just because they're hard to pay off in a 1v1. And a 4v4, who knows? Maybe they're just easier to use there. Now, Vlad did end up getting his face torn off by Archaon and his Exalted Hero, but his Vampires still got some work done, managing to get kills spread around pretty nicely. And I don't know how you get 56 kills on a unit of zombies, but that in and of itself is pretty impressive. I mean, you're not going to see that type of thing every day, so nice job by Lol. And then Falcon here, his archer line took a savage attack on that right-hand flank and just got hit with the double burning heads, but still managed to get some kills spread out across this unit, which is important. His Glade Lord did an excellent job, taking very little damage, but causing a lot of damage in return. And then the Wild Hunters of Kurnos and these other Wild Riders managing to get some important work done and cleaning up units, being patient and hanging on until they can get the damage done. The Goblin support here, the Spiders lived all the way to the end. We had the 8 Peak Loonies and some more Night Gobbos, as well as Skarsnik surviving and doing some good work. The Orc Shaman getting a few kills in there as well. The Artillery did decent up until the time it got Death Mastered. And Gendrick here pulling an awesome performance, in my opinion, with Archaon the Everchosen. That is a huge number of kills for an Archaon on foot. That was very well done. An interesting pick of an army. That Dragon Ogre just unopposed over there. Look at the death and destruction this thing racked up whenever there wasn't the right units there to oppose him. So it shows you the kind of work they can put in. Tyrion racking up 116 kills for the High Elves. His Shadow Mage getting some work done as well. His Silver Helms and Shadow Warriors got just overwhelmed at the beginning. It was a nice job, I think he did, trying to save those units. There was just a huge force that came in on that left-hand side for the red team. So good job, Red Legion. And then McNugs here with Clan Eshin. I love the artillery assassination with the Clan Eshin units here. That was a lot of fun. And then the Hell Pit Abomination. That Dwarf Thing Menace, we didn't get to see it the entire battle, but that thing got some work done as well. It's pretty incredible. 159 kills. We saw a little bit of it going on in the middle. It was actually a Goblin Thing Menace in this battle. And then look, even though they weren't alive for a terribly long time, the number of kills that Elatio pulled in with the rockets shows you why he picked the rockets. And then that Bright Wizard, right up there with Archaon, just tons of kills on the Bright Wizard for Elatio. So very well done, good sir. We enjoyed that excellent burning head crisscross that you and Gendrick put together. It was an epic moment for sure. Something I haven't seen before, crisscrossing burning heads. Or flaming head, burning head. I don't know. I think it's burning head. Anyway, HeirofCarthage, done with this one for now. Thank you for the community for submitting this one. I hope you all are enjoying all this content. My internet speed is back. I am going to try and put together some streams for you all soon. I'm just trying to get the right times picked out. So hang in there. But yeah, my internet speed is finally back to normal after some discussions with my ISP. I don't know what they did, but it's working better, which is great. Makes it easier for me to upload. And like I said, hopefully get streaming soon. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you all soon with some more Total War Warhammer 2 action.